Guess who started her menstrual cycle? Isn't it awesome? I could have a baby if I desired. Or I could just take that juice, that juice that they're telling us to take, and then I won't be able to have one. I guess that works out for all the liberals, huh? Since, they don't want to have babies anyway. They can't wait to tell you all about how cool it is to not have a baby. Honestly, I was thinking about this, and I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people that are like very pro-life that are going to disagree with me. But if you're a feminist, I don't think that you should be having kids anyway, because you're just going to screw them up. And I mean, I'm not saying that like you should murder your baby, but I'm saying that like, think about it like this. A woman that thinks that it's fine to kill her baby, do you really want her to be a mom? I mean, what kind of mom do you think she's going to be? I mean, that's how I look at it. And I feel like that's probably the most unconventional way to look at it. But it's very true, though. I mean, that's something to think about. That's something that I think pro-lifers should consider, Like that kid whose psycho bitch mom is like trying to get him to get like surgery. Like the I don't want to say certain words. The genitalia surgery, that like she what? Don't expect to not get stepped on if you're going to get in my way, you stupid cat. Ugh. They do it all the time. It's so annoying. Anyway, they walk right in front of you. They walk on top of you. And then whenever you're working on a project, like say I have a piano in my lap or I'm reading a book, you're like, nope, you're going to pay attention to me. You're going to pet me. Classic borderline personalities. All cats have borderline personality. Kind of like the majority of human beings right now. But it's either a borderline or histrionic. Whew. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, that kid in Texas. Yeah. I mean, the courts got involved and they at first they did the right thing, now they're doing the wrong thing. Imagine that. Judicial system's complete crap. Judicial systems are just there to gaslight. It's the same thing as the political system. The same thing as the news. The same thing as like science or whatever. Like they just there. They just there. They just there to gaslight. So like maybe 10, possibly 15 to 20% of the time, if we're lucky, they do the right thing. The rest of the time, they're lying. And they're corrupt and immoral and unethical. But because they do the right thing some of the time, because they tell the truth some of the time, you're confused and you just go along with the system because you don't know what else to do. But personally, I don't even understand why we have any kind of system if it doesn't work. If like the people can't rely on the system to provide justice, it's like I don't even think that human beings can do that. I feel like justice is meant for God to provide, and only God to provide. And so it really scares me when people start talking about that. And I mean, so many people, they talk about social justice on the left all the time, but it's like people on the right that believe in like capital punishment and all that. That is stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Who are you to decide when somebody gets to die? Are you a eugenicist too? I mean, it's just I'm a very principled person, and the thing is, there's nothing in this country that's more offensive than a person that has actual principles, man. A person that's consistent all across the board, a person that can back up their points. There's nothing more offensive than that, aside from, words. But right. I mean, y'all have any idea how many comedians have gotten so upset because I said the N-word? They don't know the music I listen to. And they don't know the people I hang out with. And they don't know how many times I've been called that word. They don't know that I've worked in a restaurant for 15 years. They don't know that I hang out in the projects. They don't know that I'm not afraid of black people. And let me tell you, anybody gets offended by that, they hang out with white people. They hang out with all these white liberals, these marxists that convince them to get offended by everything. That's stupid. That's just so dumb. Because I would never say that word in a disparaging fashion. I've never used it in the hard R. It's always been the soft A. The soft A. But, I get why it's offensive. I get it. Nobody has to explain that to me. But what people don't understand is that, I don't care. I've always been politically incorrect. And I don't understand, why people would think. I look at it bigger picture. If it's that word, they're going to do it with that word, they're going to do it with all the words eventually. And they already have. They're already telling us all these things that we can't say anymore. And that's dumb. It's like people have just got more and more sensitive and reactionary, And it's not making people better. It's not making society stronger. It's not like, oh, well, if white people just stop saying the N-word, the ghetto goes away. I'm just saying, all this stuff that people yell at other people about, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't make anything better. I mean, I don't say that word around people unless they're cool with it, but it's a little different saying it in a comedy bit. Hush, I don't care about your problems. I don't care about your problems either. Quiet. All they do is complain. Anyway. They're just like America. But, yeah, it's just crazy to me, how many people will get offended because you said a word. But if you stole their wallet, they'd be fine with that. They'd be fine with that. You could have an excuse. You'd be like, look, I needed some drugs. And they'd be like, all right, that's fine. Yes, he's the one that won't shut up. Hey, say out of the vortex. Now you won't meow? He's a turd, like I said. He's a turd. Oh, anyway. Yeah, man, it's just crazy. It's crazy the stuff that offends people versus the stuff that doesn't. But yeah, I think that saying politically incorrect things in comedy routines, that's a little bit different, So for people to get so mad about that and call themselves comedians, I'm sorry, but that's probably the funniest thing they've ever said. Anyway, If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your viewpoint. I'd love to see your rebuttal. Because I know that I'm right. And the reason why I know that I'm right is because there's just so much evidence of what I'm talking about. Like, people are just so weak. And it's because they can't handle words. But if everything's on fire and everything's falling apart and you have men that don't even believe in testosterone, you know, that's fine. That's totally fine. That doesn't offend them at all. But, you know, comedians doing comedy, it's like such a horrible, horrible thing. I mean, what if it was like that, like, everywhere? Like, you know, if hockey players play hockey, are you gonna get offended by that? You know, if a toaster toasts toast, you gonna get mad? Like, I mean, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. This is a box of Kleenex. You see that? Are you gonna get mad that it's not a package of nails? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, these people are just so stupid. And they don't get it. Like, they don't get, like, their reality is just being flipped, flopped, flipped, flopped, flip, flop. And they just, like, they just go along with it because they're just so brainwashed, you know? Very Orwellian. So I guess Orwell and Huxley were both right. You know, Huxley actually taught Orwell. But I'm thinking about reading Brave New World again. I really don't want to, though. I'm really, like, horrified. See, I read 1984 a couple years ago. I mean, I'd read it when I was in high school, threw the book across the room because I knew it was going to happen. But, yeah, I tried to read Brave New World, but I didn't really get through it when I was in high school. But I'm probably going to read it again. But I know that I'm going to be completely grossed out and horrified by all of the striking similarities to today's society. But Huxley was right, though, man. These people do love their servitude. They absolutely love it. Because they get real mad if you're not into that. Which is why I just try to keep to myself. I try not to meddle in anybody else's affairs because I really don't care what anybody else does. If they want to be a slave, let them be a slave. But, you know, I feel like it's my moral obligation to talk about the things that I talk about. But I know that there are a lot of people like me out there. But I'm not putting myself on social networking sites because I'm not making those pieces of crap money. Okay? I'm just not going to do it. I know it's still kind of hypocritical because I'm on YouTube, but I mean, that's not making me money. I'm not making them money either. I don't know how I could. I'm a little too unconventional, but I think that's a good thing.